Wow. Oh! We got that whole wall emptied with more success than I was anticipating, honestly. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Okay, folks, new day. The dust has settled. The walls have mostly been scrubbed down. They're starting to look much better. We're going to take a short pause from the dust and debris and destruction to do a little digging into dressing. Wall dressing, that is, because we're going to be exploring the closet back here. So where we've left things is that the only planks that are still on the wall are these ones that you see right back here, and that is because they extend into this closet here and possibly into the bedroom behind this. We're not sure. That's why we need to tear off the plaster on the back wall of this closet, at least, possibly more, to investigate. We need to formulate a plan of action, and we can't do that until we know a little bit more. So the plaster is coming down, but before it does, I have insisted to Phil that we pause and that I try to salvage some of this wallpaper because it is like perfectly well preserved. So I'm gonna see if I can pull some of it off and save it before before we tear into the plaster and trash everything. So let's get going. I think it's gonna be quite fun. So a quick refresher where we're at. This is the closet. I am currently looking at the wall that needs to be torn out, and look at, we can see all of the layers. What a beautiful onion we have. So we've got the much more modern wallpaper here, a lovely cardboard patch over, probably over this hole right here, but underneath that, look at all this beautiful wallpaper. Oh. So I think we're just going to tear into it and see if this panel comes off as easily as its neighbor did. Oh, that's a good sign. This can't all be one width, can it? Oh my God, it can. Wow. Look at that. Wow. Oh my God, it's so cool. All right, so we missed a little swatch in the corner here, but other than that, it all came off really easily. We can see there's a little bit of damage here from just the adhesion of the previous layer, but the rest of it looks like it's in really good shape. Wow. I'm definitely gonna need to take some pictures of this before I try to get it off, just in case I completely destroy it. This is one of the rare cases that I actually have an entire repeat preserved. So if I wanted to reproduce this one day, I could. So just take some really nice, careful, high quality photos of this, and then I can slowly try and peel it off. But first, let's see about this corner. Oh, I see. It's these lovely power cables that are blocking it from coming off. Honestly, I kind of like this one too. I think it's kind of cute. It's not too bad. Much more modern, and it came off quite easily, which is its most redeeming quality in my opinion. So got this off. Gonna take some pictures of this and then carefully try and get some of it off, at least off of this wall where we need to do some destruction. So I just got the first section off. I'm already so happy with this. Even if this is all I can save, I'm still pretty happy. But I did notice when I was pulling it off that it felt way thicker than the other samples that I'd found in the other places of the room. Like it is hefty, and that was part of the reason it was coming off so easily. And then I realized, I don't know if you can see it here, but it's actually 2 layers. So we have the outer beauty layer, and then it appears to be stuck behind some sort of thinner cardboard, not cardboard, but like just stiff paper covering, and that is helping it come off. I'm not sure if it's gonna be like that in the whole closet. We'll see. If it is, I think I can get a lot of it off in big chunks, but I'm not holding my breath, so first chunk down, more to go. So as I suspected, there is a backing, and the backing comes to an end. So I just found the end of it, which means that a lot of this is rather flimsy and going to be destroyed when I pull it off. But I do think there's still a section here. Yeah, there seems to be a section here that still has the second layer behind it. So I think I can still get some more off, but probably not the whole wall. Also, I think I just heard Phil schmoozing our garbage guy and trying to talk him into taking all of our bags of blown in from these walls as part of our normal weekly garbage run. I don't think it worked, but we'll have to ask him. Ah, another nail. Another nail! Sure love to put nails in these walls. Oh! Oh, friends, I just got a big section. No. Ooh, look at all that. Ah. Another big section down. Amazing. Ah, it's so much fun. Very, very cool. I'm really glad this backer is really saving my butt in terms of saving this wallpaper. Did I hear you try and talk the garbage man into taking our blown in?
It's all on the side of the road. If they do, nice.
But is that what I heard? I thought I heard you talking.
But it was a recycling man. He said, yeah, you should take it. I said, well, why not? I'm gonna try.
Yeah? Wow. Da, 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 da. Hi there, Editing Shannon popping in because I actually came across this reel just the other day. It's from one of the few accounts that I actually follow on Instagram. It's Book Historia. They're curator of the special collections at the Winterthur Library, and they always have the most amazing historical documents and paraphernalia that they're sharing on their page. And this one from just the other day was really relevant to this week's video. Now, unfortunately, they have put copyrighted audio in the background, so I can't play you what she's saying, but basically it's a catalog of wallpaper samples from the Larkin Company from 1910. And while we don't see the exact pattern from the closet in here, that would have been amazing. The style, though, of these patterns are very, very similar, especially if we look at this one here, like the flower with the silver metallic around it. Very, very similar to our wallpaper, both in aesthetic, but also in the types of materials used to manufacture this paper. And I just thought it was super interesting to me because I've always said that this wallpaper struck me more as true Victorian, or rather, I guess, Edwardian, technically, rather than the Victorian reboot of the 1980s, both in the way that it was made, the style and the materials, but also given where it sits in the layer sandwich of all the other wall coverings on these walls. So just something to mull over with you. Thought I'd share it. I found it super interesting, and also you should definitely check out that account if you're into very cool old historical items. All right. Whoa, hello. Come back to, where did you go? Come back. There we go. So it looks like there actually is another wallpaper under this one that is providing the backing for all of this. The sacrificial layer of wallpaper, which I'm getting tiny little glimpses of, and it's so ugly. I'm not even sure if it actually is wallpaper or if it was just meant to be like a between plaster and wallpaper layer. Here, I will spin you around and then you can see it for yourselves. So you see what I mean? It's like not even... It is nothing of note. It is pretty plain and boring. Don't know if that was meant to be a wallpaper in and of itself, or if this is just like a sacrificial layer. It's got little striations in it, but again, is that supposed to be decorative? Is that part of the paper? I don't know. Oop, down there. All right, continuing on. So yeah, basically got that whole wall emptied with more success than I was anticipating, honestly. And now I'm just gonna start in on this wall, possibly. Phil's not quite done with all the stuff he's doing. So yeah, I guess I'll just start in on this wall.
Should I reposition this camera?
What?
Should I reposition this camera?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, good luck. It's very hard to see anything. Also, I'm gonna have to smash my samples. It's very important. No smash the wallpaper I'm trying to see. Yeah, it's pretty well stuck on this wall.
Look at all the damage here from hanging clothes. There was a bar here, so all the...
Do you think that's what it's from, or do you think it's from the previous wallpaper?
I think that's what it is.
That's actually an interesting theory.
Because it's nowhere else.
I hadn't even considered that. I just assumed it was
And for sure
damaged.
this was like this from all the use of the hangers before they put the next layer on.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. That could be. So satisfying. Come on, don't tear on me. And because it's the paper underneath, it's like causing the top layer doesn't flake quite as much.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is still wanting to tear there. I feel it sticking. No, don't stick.
Just go somewhere else.
It's going. It just needs a little persuasion. Oh, this is so much fun. Ta-da! This is the biggest one yet. I never thought I'd say this, but we're getting to the point where the piece of wallpaper I'm removing is longer than my wingspan. It's almost as big as me! That's so cool! I think what we learned is you always have to have a sacrificial layer. And in our case, we were just really lucky the sacrificial layer was butt ugly. Back up a little bit. Yep, there we go.
Is it a pattern or a weird dimple thing to help the glue attach for the normal?
But look, it's not on the other side. The other side is plain, which makes me think that, and it's a different color. So it's clearly a different color with a pattern. Then I removed all the lath to get a peek at those planks hiding behind, and unfortunately what I discovered once I had removed all the lath is that not only did those planks continue into the closet, they also appeared to then continue on into the bedroom on the other side of this wall. Not surprising, I guess, given the extreme length of the planks on the first wall, but a little bit disappointing. So the executive decision was made that we were going to have to cut these planks here, make them shorter, rather than completely deconstructing both the closet with all of its molding, but also potentially the other bedroom as well. Like, who knows where these planks end? They might very well go all the way until the window of the other bedroom, and that was just more demolition than we were looking to get into at this point. So we located the closest stud to the wall, we measured carefully and with some foresight, and we cut the planks right down the middle, giving us full, albeit somewhat awkward, access to every single stud bay in this room.
In the walls.
As for the rest of the process, you know what this looks like. Remove the planks, empty the stud bays of all the blown in, try not to make too much of a mess, but mostly fail, clean it up, bag it up, vacuum seal it, wash, rinse, repeat. Starting the next morning off was this week's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest all-in-one platform for building a website, and the best part of it is that you don't have to be a web designer to use it. You don't need to know anything about designing a website because they're professionally designed templates. They look great and they give you a really easy place to start. And their intuitive tools like drag and drop editing allow you to take that template and customize it further to make your website really feel like you. They have a wonderful suite of business tools, so whether you're selling services or products or lessons, whatever it is, they can get you started. They can help you set up all the scheduling. They can help you with payments and fulfillment, invoicing, inventory, all that stuff. So if you want to try Squarespace, then head to squarespace.com and you'll get a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, you can go to squarespace.com/ShannonMakes and you'll get 10% off your first purchase of a new website or domain. Work continues. We have been making good progress in here so far. A lot of work got done and found some cool wallpaper, tore out the walls so they're now open to the studs, at least on 2 of the walls. So that one there. And then this one behind me. And the task that we are going to do today is we're going to focus on cutting some fire blocking, because if you look at the bottom of this wall over here where the wall meets the floor, so here and here and here, basically anywhere that there is pink insulation, if we would take that pink insulation out and drop a marble into the wall bay, it would fall all the way down from the 2nd floor through the 1st floor, and it would come out in the basement where it would hit the basement floor. So they are completely empty cavities. Some of them probably have some blown in insulation, but not all of them. And it is just a highway of air. So we are going to take the pink insulation out, cut wood that fits in there, which is going to be tricky because of course each cut is going to be a custom cut. Nothing is standardized in our lovely decrepit moldy walls. And that is going to prevent not only the air from coming up and, you know, kind of want to keep the conditioned air downstairs, but also if there ever was a fire, that fire would just be able to spread super rapidly in the empty bays, which is why you now have to have fire blocking in modern houses. When they build them, you have to have them. This is an older house. It will not have all of them, but when we have the walls open like this and we can take the chance, we are absolutely going to put some blocking in there. Then if we get past that point, I am going to try and start cleaning down these walls, because some of the bays, a lot of the bays are looking pretty good, but there are a couple of the bays that have some extensive mold damage. So here, for example, I'm in the very corner of the 2 walls that we've stripped down, and you can see, like, I cleaned this bay out and it looks pretty good. It was just had some dust and some blown in insulation, but then if we look over here in the corner, all of this is mold. Now the spores are dead, which is why I'm not wearing a mask right now. I will put it on as soon as we start work, but just to talk to you, don't have it because they are all dry. This is from years and years ago when we had Hurricane Fiona came and did a ton of damage to the roof in this room, which is also why the ceiling looks like that, why we have this big patch here. It's all from a hurricane about 4 years ago now, and it was just inundated this quadrant of the house with a ton of water. It did a lot of damage to the roof, as we can see in the drone shots. So basically, we got a ton of mold, and then as soon as they were able to fix the roof, it probably dried because the walls can breathe very well, as we have seen, so there's no reason for the blown in that got wet to not be able to dry out. Except that I think between the time the damage was done and the time they were able to repair the roof and stop the water, I think it was just repeatedly getting inundated with so much water that nothing had the chance to dry out, and hence mold. So I will scrub it out. It is mostly dry, so I'm just going to scrub as much as I can with a vacuum cleaner, and then going to go through with some vinegar, squirt that down, and then we can put insulation in here, which is going to be very welcome because it is currently -20 today. I am freezing. I'm actually surprised you can't see my breath is better than that, but yeah. So that's the plan. We're going to get to work. I'm going to suit up and we're going to start cutting some wood. All of that to say, thank you very much, Kimberly, for the new blades that we're using in our circular saw today from the Amazon wish list. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's go cut some wood. So we once again decided to mostly divide and conquer here because the mold was mainly concentrated to a few stud bays, mainly the ones right in the corner. I'm guessing that's where a majority of the damage to the roof happened. So I started removing the mold from those cavities while Phil started cutting fire blocking for all the other sections. So what you're seeing now is the first line in my mold removal and remediation process, and that is that I'm going in with a wire brush and a vacuum with a HEPA filter. So the wire brush does a good job of removing a little bit of that outer layer of wood along with the mold, so it's getting a bit deeper than just a surface level scrub, and it should hopefully be getting the majority of the spores. I made sure to leave the vacuum running continuously during this whole process. I held it right underneath the wire brush, and that's just to try to limit how airborne the spores can become once I really start getting in there and disturbing and dislodging them.
Is it nails? Fucking
That was what, like 40 minutes worth of work right there?
So I'm going to walk back what I said a bit earlier about the house's construction because it's not strictly balloon framed. Sometimes I have a tendency when I talk to simplify the situation because I know people get bored if I go into too much detail on the house. But it's actually really interesting how it was constructed. We'll get into it in a bit more detail in the fall when you meet Laura properly, but basically the gable ends are not balloon framed, while the front facade and the back end are. That means that these floorboards are actually sitting on a top plate and they're not open cavities all the way down to the basement, while the stud bays on the other wall of this room are. But we're still installing fire blocking here, not to prevent the vertical spread of fire, but to protect in case fire would get into the floor joists, which would be the ceiling of the floor below us, and travel horizontally through those massive voids. And just like that, we worked on into the evening with golden hour once again gracing my camera and your screens.
I think you're due for a cleaning. Whee! That was a nice shot. How's your coping mechanism?